Capricorn, this is your tarot reading for May. I guess the entire year has been quite interesting. It seems to be an interplay between, well, no, it's largely about global events, and I think yours might be. It is the interplay of the global and the personal, maybe. But yeah, I hope you get something useful from it. I'm drawn to the central card. The central card is the Four of Pentacles. Suggests an unhealthy attachment towards money. You're holding on to your money, being miserly. Now that runs throughout the entire reading. That's an energy that, impacts on the entire reading. But I have been saying for some time that that's perhaps a natural reaction to the uncertainty that's within the world. But maybe it's even more personal with you, because we look in the recent past and we have the Queen of Pentacles. I call her the single mother card, and then I always say, well, you don't have to be a mother. You don't have to be female. You don't have to be parent. You don't have to be female. But you are struggling with money somewhat. You're struggling to do everything. I think you're probably doing a good job, but you don't think you are. But right now, you're laying down money for the future. You're investing in the future, which suggests things have changed round somewhat. And of course, all of these are fitting in with this Four of Pentacles, which goes throughout it. In the future, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which suggests you're going to be blessed with many things, but particularly wealth. But maybe you don't have anybody to share it with. Now, that's strange because it's juxtapositioned with the energy that's going to lead to the outcome, which is the Ten of Cups, which is multiple blessings again, but these are multiple blessings with somebody, probably with a family. So, in fact, if you look, the top half of this reading is very different to the bottom. I'm going to have to work this out as well, we'll have to work it out. What would change the outcome is the Ace of Swords. That suggests that some inspiration, some information comes to you that changes everything. But the outcome, if we go with this happy families sort of card, is the Nine of Wands, and that is somehow you're restricting yourself. Self-restrictions. Sorry, it isn't self-restrictions. It's more looking back at the past and looking at things and saying, yeah, I've come a long way. I've dealt with that. Yeah, I'm up for it. I can handle it. It's quite a nice card to have, really. But why would information change it? There's an awful lot to unpack here, isn't there? I hope you stick around with me to find out what it's all about. Now, the Four of Pentacles in this central position normally would sound alarm bells to me, but as I say, it's an unhealthy attitude towards money, probably being a little bit miserly. But for a while I've not been fazed by it, and the reason being is, if you look on this platform, look in the news, there are predictions everywhere of financial Armageddon. Now, I am urging people not to be too influenced by it, because I believe that these predictions are actually intended to panic people into unwise investments, be it gold, crypto. Now, I'm not saying gold and crypto are unwise investments. I'm not making an investment prediction here, but I think we are being panicked into things like gold and crypto, and I believe all markets to be inherently rigged, and that's the reason for it. So, given that all this pressure is on us in terms of predicting of financial Armageddon, it probably is wise to keep a hold of your money. Although, as I'm sure I'm going to tell you later, I'm not sure that money is a human construct anyway. So, I think we've been worried about money, and that's something of a smokescreen. I'll probably come back to this. Now, certainly in the past, money, or probably the lack of it, has been a dominant energy in your life. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And as I say, I call her the single mother card, and you don't have to be a parent, you don't have to be female. But the energy is one of a degree of struggle, a degree of struggling to cope with many things. Almost certainly a part of that struggle is financial. And it's tiring, I always say that I think you think you're not doing a great job, and others probably really admire you and think you're doing a wonderful job. But, money has been a struggle at some point. Now, your current energy is that of the Seven of Pentacles. And again, it's about money, it's about wealth, it's about investing for the future. Now, I suppose this links in with the Four of Pentacles, this sort of slightly unhealthy attitude towards money. Given the uncertainty there is in the world, I don't think it's a bad thing to be investing for the future. I do think it's a bad thing to be engaged in panicky investments, in risky investments. I think a broad portfolio is what's required. I'm not giving financial advice, but I'm just saying if there's a lot of uncertainty, then it makes sense to be investing and for it to be broad and balanced. I think continuing with the theme of money, or at least wealth, we have the Nine of Pentacles in the future. Suggests you're going to be blessed with wealth. And multiple blessings even. I mean, you look at it, beautiful card. She's there, surrounded by pentacles, so surrounded by wealth, beautiful garden. Even got that bird perched on her hand. But what does strike me is she's by herself. Now, of course, if you were a single parent, then, you probably are going to be by yourself. But this is saying that at least your money troubles are going to be over in the future. So it makes perfect sense. But then, as we're going to see, we look at the upper half of the reading, everything changes. But so far, it's all running in a pattern. Yeah, we're moving to the top half now, and this is where it all changes, and this is the energy leading to the outcome, and that is the Ten of Cups, and it's a card of multiple blessings, but including happy families. Now, it does strike me that one explanation is that, yes, you were a single parent, one or more of your children have grown up now, and you're now a part of their family, but it's quite a story to make up, isn't it? So I don't think it's that. No, this looks to be about happy families. It looks to be about your family. It looks to be, and I'm sure you are going to get these multiple blessings, I'm certain of it, but yeah. Doesn't square with the other. I mean, these are two energies, all these things are about energies, and remember you have free will, so the fact that energies may contradict, that's life, isn't it? Energies will contradict, and which one you choose to go with, you do have free will over. So I'm only reading energies here, so maybe I shouldn't get so uptight about it. What would change the outcome is the Ace of Swords, and whilst it has a few meanings, you could be going out and seeking knowledge. I'm absolutely certain that we should interpret this as you gaining some knowledge, you gaining some information. It'll come like a spark and it'll be aha type moment. So there's some information out there that you would get that would change everything. And I don't think the outcome's a bad one, so I don't know what we're talking about here. Now, I ended the last energy saying I don't know what the information is that's coming. But you see, the outcome is the Nine of Wands, which is you sort of looking back over the past and projecting the past into the future and saying, I've dealt with that, I've coped with it, and yeah, I've got confidence that I can deal with the future. And now, there's nothing wrong with that, providing you're talking about the energies. But if you're extrapolating actual events from the future to the past, there is every indication that right now that is completely the wrong thing to be doing. So I don't know if this is a bad thing to be doing, because I don't know if that's what you're doing. Because if you are extrapolating simply energies and saying, oh yeah, well I felt like that before, but things changed and we got through it, then that's fine. But if you are saying, oh yeah, well we've been there before and this worked like this and this like this, then that's the wrong way to do it. So the information could be quite profound that I've sort of said I don't know what it is. And I think yet again we could be talking about global events. And you, Capricorn, could be somewhat in the dark about what's going on, unlike other signs such as Aries that seems well ahead of the curve. I'm going to seek clarity, and I'm going to seek clarity on this Four of Pentacles card, the Miser card. And the first card of clarity is the Moon. Well, that makes perfect sense. You're frightened of the unknown. So hanging on to your money because you're frightened of the unknown. Now we have the Eight of Wands. And do you remember I started interpreting the Nine of Wands as the Eight? Well, we actually have an Eight here. And that's self-restrictions. But fascinatingly, we now have the Ace of Cups, which suggests a new love. And yeah, the first card is the Moon card, fear of the unknown. And, okay, we shouldn't be frightened of the unknown, but I can't think of a better reason to be somewhat miserly. So, whilst I'm urging you not to be fearful of the unknown, not to let it dominate your life, it seems to me a very natural reaction to hold on to your money a little at times like this. So, particularly, given the way that the world is at the moment, and I actually coming round to thinking that your reading is a much more personal reading. It is about the interplay of the global on the personal, but I think you're even somewhat unaware of the global events, you'll be aware of the sort of bank failures, etc., but you're sort of unaware of how it's affecting you really. And I think you're taking it very personally. I think you're seeing things very personally. And we now have this Eight of Wands, which is you reflecting on the past, but extrapolating the future from the past. Now remember, this is about the Four of Pentacles. So I think if you think of the past, that single mum card when you were short of money, you're holding on to your money because you're saying, well, I remember a time when I didn't have much, and so, yeah, better keep a hold of what I've got. And I think that's overly influencing you, overly influencing your thoughts. And the final card of clarification is the Ace of Cups. Well, the Ace of Cups suggests a new love. And now, if you remember, we've got that sort of juxtapositioning of the the Nine of Pentacles, which is many blessings, particularly financial blessings, but being by yourself, with the Ten of Cups, which is the sort of happy families card. And so this is the new love here. And I think what you're doing is you've realised that in the past, and remember, I call her the single mother card, the Queen of Pentacles, a love brought about something of financial disaster for you. So I think you realise if you are to find a new love, you need to have money, just in case they do a bunk on you as well. So I think that's what's influencing you. And I think we can now, summarise for you, Capricorn. Capricorn, an interesting reading to say the least. Most people's readings for July have been about global events. And I'm not saying yours isn't. Global events are clearly affecting the personal, but yours is much more personal. It would seem that in the past, you may have had a child had a child with somebody, and they left you, and you were left bringing up by yourself. Certainly it put you under financial pressure, and that plays very much on your mind. And in fact, right now you're saving up money. You might even be saving up money because of you'd like to find somebody else, and you're worried that they might do a bunk as well, so you need money for it. Be saving money for the long term. And there's two ways that things could go. One is you could be wealthy and by yourself, or you could find a person. You could find a person that you seem very suited to, and have happy families, which is, I think, something you've always wanted. But what you mustn't do is extrapolate the past into the future. So there's no point in saying, well, that happened in the past and therefore it's going to happen again, because of maybe the energies might repeat themselves, but the actual circumstances don't. And when I say the energies repeat themselves, these are the energies of cycles. And if you've not learned from the last cycle, then you will repeat the mistakes of a new cycle. But I can't tell you which way to go. But what I can tell you is there's some information out there. And if you could only get hold of this information, it would change everything. Completely change everything. I mean, it could be about the person that jilted you or left you by yourself before. It could be about the circumstances. It could simply be that if only you could grasp the learning from the last cycle, then you won't be repeating mistakes. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily see this as a bad reasoning, though, although it sounds somewhat pessimistic. I actually don't see it that way. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of blessings there,